Alright, here we go. Full day of plant-based eating coming your way. I'm aiming for 2,300 calories at the mo. Sometimes, to be transparent, I'm a little bit over 2,300. Other times I'm a little bit under 2,300. It balances overall, or so I figure. So you'll watch how I negotiate that as the day goes on. As long as I'm in that rough target, that's good enough for me. I've already been to the gym this morning. I didn't know I was filming this video, to be honest. So I've had my usual pre-workout of 100 calories worth of rice cakes, but we're back now cooking up a good old breakfast post-workout. Let me show you what we're working with. Lo and behold, it's the tofu scramble, fueling the baby biceps post-workout. I've got 250 grams of extra firm tofu here, some spinach, some red bell pepper, and mushrooms. I'll often mix up the veggies, but this particular combination works really well, I find. Bit of garlic powder, bit of nutritional yeast, little bit of salt to season as well. And then I've got this gorgeous, this is a bread I often have from a local place here, this gorgeous rye sourdough bread. Delicious. I don't even have anything on it because a good quality bread, honestly, I can just eat. I put some of the tofu scramble on there, really, really basic, but you could, of course, do a light serving of maybe a nut butter or maybe some hummus on there. But for me, this is actually quite a low-fat meal because I'm intentionally saving some fats for later on. I mean, tofu has a little bit fat anyway, but we've got the carb sauce, we've got the protein sauce, lots of vegetables here, bit of hot sauce or low sugar and low sodium ketchup I'll often use to finish, but we're going with the hot sauce today. Really simple, great meal post-workout. Okie doke, some time has now passed. In fact, it's 2 p.m., which that's a particularly long gap between breakfast and lunch for me today. So to be honest, I was getting cranky. I felt the energy dropping, so I very much welcome, am I in shot here? I think so. I very much welcome one of my slim and sustain big bowl lunches. If you've been following me for some time, you already know about my big bowls. They are the Swiss Army knife of meals, incredibly versatile to promote nutrient diversity and to just mix things up when you get bored. But let me show you, I want to walk you through the exact concoction, the rotation that I'm running today. For our carbohydrate base, of course, we've got 70 grams of dry weight bulgur wheat, seriously underrated whole grain. Black beans, 120 grams here, which is about half a can drained. Then, would you believe, even more tofu, 100 grams of extra firm tofu here. Am I worried about soy? Clearly not, given my dietary choice. It's probably self-explanatory. The phytoestrogen and estrogen debate. Yes, phytoestrogen does replicate estrogen, in some ways, but it is more complex than that. I've covered this in more depth before. Short version is, no, I'm not worried about it whatsoever. I've been eating a lot of soy for a long time. I think the health benefits of soy are seriously, seriously under-recognized across the health and nutrition community. Then, veggies today, it's really boring. I've just done, well, it's not boring, it's delicious, but it's really simple. Baked broccoli. I would ideally like a couple of different types of veggies. As it so happens, I just have two. I've got my baked broccoli here, and then a little bit, you're not going to make it out because of the contrast or lack thereof. A little bit of kraut, a little bit of sauerkraut here because we like some fermented veggies if we remember. So all I do is bake the broccoli, would you believe? No oil, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of black pepper, and it's really quite good. It's roasting vegetables. Again, there's another seriously underrated food hack. And of course, we've got half a medium, small/medium, it's quite miniature actually, avocado here for our long-awaited healthy fat source. Now, you can, because some people will look at this and they'll go, that's really dry, Ryan. Do you actually enjoy this? Yes, I'm a person that doesn't need like loads of rich dressings and sauces to make things taste good. I can use a little bit of hot sauce like I did on the scramble earlier. I can use a bit of balsamic glaze or balsamic vinegar, a bit of lime or lemon juice, just squeeze it over. That is actually enough for me. Now, you can do though, what I used to do like 5-10 years ago is thin out a tahini dressing, so tahini lemon juice water, drizzle that over, but I wouldn't have the avocado. What I've landed on in the last couple of years is, for me personally, I actually get more bang for buck satisfaction per calorie to have the healthy fat source as part of the meal, as a whole food, as a very chewable component of the meal, as opposed to a dressing. Even though that tahini lemon dressing, it's so simple but so delicious, bit of garlic powder in there as well, it's amazing. But actually I prefer doing this to this day. I just like the chew factor with avocado. Sometimes I'll do hemp seeds if I don't have a good avocado. And that's it. That is the Slim and Sustain Big Bowl Lunch. And we're on, so what was breakfast? Around 600 calories. This is 680. 36, 37 grams of protein, just slightly under 100 grams of carbohydrate, a little bit of fat as well. And just comment on this tofu, if you want a little bit more protein boost, this is such a good hack. Not everyone needs it. Not everyone needs excessively high protein intake, but if you do, for one reason or another, breastfeeding, muscle building goals, etc., etc., you can reduce the grain source. If you looked at this bowl in my diet 5-6 years ago, I'd probably use 90 grams, 100 grams of dry weight bulgur wheat. But what I do is I cut back on the grain, maybe use less beans as well instead of a full can of black beans like I used to back in the day, and then do that 100 grams of tofu. What this very cleverly does is it boosts your protein without stacking calories, because if I just focused on adding more protein to this dish but keeping everything else the same, the calories go up and up and up. And this is exactly how I hit all those macronutrients, micronutrients too, but for the purpose of this conversation, carbs, protein, fat, I get all the nutrients I need for my particular goals and lifestyle, but still hit my calories rather than going up and up and up and up. Make sense? Right, back at base. It's now, I was gonna say gone 6, but it's now coming up to 7 p.m, but dinner isn't quite on the cards just yet. So it is time, in the meantime, for the best, I'll show you properly in just a second, but the best low-calorie snack option on earth. I'm having this every single day at the moment and loving it. And I've had nothing since lunch, so it's safe to say, yeah, I'm getting peckish. Just that black coffee to hold me over, which is new in my diet in the last 12 months. I was never a massive coffee drinker before, but I'm partial to a black coffee now. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, we're about to lose good daylight, I think, but this is it, the raw veg plate, 110 calories. You can't believe it looking at the thing, can you? But 110 calories, just the power of raw veg, water-rich raw veg. So I've got a whole cucumber here. I've got the other half of, it was a very large pepper, the other half of the red bell pepper from earlier's tofu scramble, if you recall. And then the secret ingredient, whether you'll make this out particularly clearly or not, I don't know. But this is the dip. It's just really low calorie, soy yogurt, a little bit of mustard. I like Dijon, very, very sharp, but any mustard will do. Bit of garlic powder, sea salt, tiny bit of sea salt, and oregano. And I just dip away. And this is amazing, and you can mix it up. So sometimes I do celery, sometimes I do baby carrots. But I must say at the moment, cucumber is a mainstay because it's so low calorie. This is how I've been doing it in the evenings. This is how I've been able to stay so full in the evenings when I usually, like everyone else, get the munchies and still maintain that calorie deficit and subsequently lose a bit of body fat. So yeah, love it. And you just dip away and it's a right little feast. And it takes me about 10 to 15, I'm a fast eater and it still takes me 10 to 15 minutes to eat all of this. So just the perceived satisfaction with raw veg is really, really good versus cooked veg actually, because just that chew factor, the time it takes to chew, and we just dip away. We'll do the taste test now. As good as always, as good as always. And so this soy yogurt I make every 2 days. So this is yesterday's, but still tastes really, really good. And that's another thing as well, like everything is so batchable. I don't have loads and loads of stuff in my fridge. Remember earlier on, the red bell pepper, I just used the other half. So this is why I could have more diversity in my diet if I wanted, but this is so practical. This is so practical to still get a decent variety of foods, but not have to have different foods every meal and not be able to batch cook and this sort of thing. This is how I've been able to do this now for so long, so consistently. 8 p.m. now, 20 hours, and we're finally getting to dinner. What's on the menu this evening? It's my pasta salad, which I naturally crave more and more when the weather starts getting half decent. A couple of little sides, dressings, accompaniments here, so stick with me. I'll walk you through all of it, rest assured. As for the big dish itself, though, we've got 70 grams dry weight of whole wheat fusilli here, 180 grams of canned chickpeas, which is about 2/3 a standard can of chickpeas drained. I've got a bunch more broccoli florets. If you recall, we cooked a huge batch of those for lunch earlier on. I've got 10 to 12, I think, cherry tomatoes halved here. About 1/3 red onion. I find if I go to half red onion, it's quite overpowering because it's raw. And then what else? Oh, I'm missing the spinach, of course. I can just add it after this, but you donut rye. I'm missing the spinach, so ordinarily I would throw a bunch of spinach or kale or maybe rocket actually is my favorite to do with the pasta salad. Magic ingredients here. We've got 10 grams of hemp seeds here. The fat has been, I said it might be a higher fat day. I indicated that earlier on, but because I had so much tofu today, it's a little bit higher in fat than its bean counterparts, its other legume counterparts. So for me, between the avocado, 10 grams of hemp seeds here, I'm covered. And the dressing, of course, following my low-calorie dressing rule, this is just mustard, balsamic vinegar, bit of black pepper, bit of sea salt in there. And yeah, we're just gonna drizzle all of this over right now. Nice dinner in the summer months. Voila. There we go. So that's my pretty simple, pretty straightforward pasta salad. And after the veg plate, we're on just shy of 1,500 calories. This is just over 600 calories. So it takes us to around 2,150, maybe 2,200 calories conservatively now. And that just gives us a little bit of wiggle room if I want to finish the night with something, which I may well do. So stick around to see what that is. And then I'll cover my final numbers, including protein as well as the calories, because I know people are curious about that right at the end. I can't believe I've gone the whole day without a single piece of fruit. That's a rarity for me. So we're finishing now, little nightcap. We're finishing the day with this lovely, look at the color on that, this lovely looking apple. It's actually huge. I don't know if you've got scale for this. I usually account about 100 calories, give or take, for a medium-sized apple. Well, this thing is, I mean, what should we say? 130? To be honest, that's probably still undershooting it. Let's call it 140. Let's be conservative about it. 140 calories, erring on the side of caution there. And let's see, where does that take us? Let's calculate, where does that take us? I think there was something I missed. It might have been the rice cakes that I forgot to sort of add up as I was talking through my meals earlier. So we've hit now 2350. So we've gone a little bit over, just overshot it slightly, but like I said earlier on, for me, that's not a deal breaker. Some days I'm slightly over 2,300, some days I'm a little bit under. Overall, it balances. In fact, more recently, I've been under it. I've been hitting 2,200, 2,150 the other day, quite easily, actually, without it being too much of a struggle. So for me, 50 calories over, that's absolutely not a deal breaker. That, to me, that's a pretty successful day of eating. And I'll remind you, we had that really nice as well shoulder and arm workout this morning. And then, so it's a decently active day because I just did a little evening stroll to finish my steps. We hit 11,500 steps. I don't actually have a particular step target. It's pretty much always over about 8,000. But for me, that's a decently active day and good nutrition to boot. Here's how it breaks down. Protein, 123 grams. So that's over 120 grams of protein. I remind you, without protein powders, without any of those fake meat products, it's all very, very doable, to be honest. Carbs, 348 grams. That's good fueling for a pretty active day. Fat, bang on. Really pleased with this one. We ended at 54 grams. I like to be around 60. It's close enough, 60 grams of fat in a calorie deficit. I find that really, really sustainable. Here's how that breaks down in terms of percentages. Protein, 21%. Carbs, 59%. Fat, 20%. So it's almost virtually bang on with my whole 60-20-20 policy. So for me, yeah, really, really successful day of eating. Very pleased with that. What's the secret? That's a decent calorie deficit for me. I think my maintenance day with that activity, I would guesstimate maybe that's 2,700. So we might be looking at a 300 to 400 calorie deficit to me. How do I gladly do this and still feel so full, satisfied? Well, you've seen it in action. You've seen the framework. It's all the beans. Right, they keep me so full. I'm eating beans or bean derivatives with every meal in a really decent amount. That's a massive hack. Loads of fiber content beyond the beans, loads of fiber contributors to my diet. Lots of high volume, non-starchy veggies that add bulk. You've seen those throughout the day. A whole snack dedicated to vegetables, raw vegetables, right? So this adds loads of bulk for very few calories, keeps me really, really full, really, really satisfied. The perceived satisfaction with all that volume is so important to me. And then finally, balanced macronutrients, right? I find that if I take my protein too high and that requires me to siphon off maybe some carbohydrate, I'm not quite as satisfied. I don't feel quite as fueled for my workouts. I notice when I do the really, really low fat thing, like 10% of calories from fat, I don't feel as satisfied with my meals. So 60-20-20 is just what I've landed on over the years. It just feels the perfect sweet spot for me to get a variety of nutrients, but then still stay in that calorie deficit quite gladly as well, without feeling like I'm starving all the time or I'm quote unquote dieting. Obviously, to be transparent, there's days where my hunger is a little bit higher, there's days where I've got cravings, but generally speaking, this is the most easy, enjoyable, realistic way that I've found to stay in that calorie deficit every single day, to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week, without it feeling like just this massive stress, this massive hassle all the time. And if your day of eating doesn't look like this, if despite eating healthy right now, you're eating a 100% whole foods, plant-based diet, but you don't know for certain that you're finishing each day in a calorie deficit. You don't have that same method or deeper structure behind each meal like I've shown you throughout today. It's probably why you might not be getting results right now. I literally watch so many vegans and plant-based dieters do everything right from a health perspective to have this perfectly brilliant diet on on paper, but like 6 months down the line, they're absolutely gutted, distraught, frustrated that they haven't lost any weight when they're really expecting to. And you just need that deeper structure, that deeper precision, that deeper strategy behind your meals and how you eat. And yeah, this is what I do for my clients inside Slim and Sustain. If you want help with all of this, if you want me to tell you what's stopping you from losing weight right now, help you fix that, come up with a new plan that ensures that you're checking those boxes that I've just talked about: calorie deficit, balanced macros, the secrets to staying full and satisfied, eating a plant-based diet in a calorie deficit. If you want me to help you do all of that, the link for Slim and Sustain to go and learn more there will be below. Okay, bon appetit to me. See you soon. Hope you helped. Hope this helped you out.